Stop explaining yourself, not because you are wrong, not because you lack clarity, but because every unnecessary explanation slowly trains your mind to seek permission. Instead of standing in authority, the strongest people in history were not understood by everyone. They were respected. And respect does not come from explanation. It comes from presence. The hidden cost of explaining yourself: every time you explain yourself to someone who did not ask with sincerity, you pay a psychological price. You may not feel it immediately, but over time, it erodes your inner stability. You begin to anticipate judgment. You begin to rehearse defenses before accusations are even made. This is not awareness. This is submission. Stoic philosophy warned against this behavior long before modern psychology existed. Epictetus taught that if you hand over your peace to the opinions of others, you become their servant. Explaining yourself excessively is not clarity. It is a fear response. Why people demand explanations? Most people do not want to understand you. They want to measure you. They want to see whether you will bend, justify, or seek approval. When someone pressures you to explain yourself, they are often testing one thing: how much control do I have over this person? Machiavelli observed this pattern clearly. He noted that those who rush to explain signal weakness, while those who remain composed force others to adapt. Silence shifts the balance of power. Silence is a form of self-respect. When you stop explaining yourself unnecessarily, something subtle happens. Your posture changes. Your tone slows. Your mind becomes quieter. You are no longer negotiating your worth. You are occupying it. Self-respect begins when you decide that not every thought deserves an audience. Not every judgment deserves a response. The Stoic distinction, control vs perception. The Stoics made a brutal distinction. There are things you control and things you do not. Your actions, your values, your discipline, these are yours. Other people's interpretations, they are not. Explaining yourself to control perception is like trying to command the wind. You waste energy. You lose focus, and you gain nothing lasting. Why silence makes people uncomfortably since removes predictability. It denies emotional access, and that makes people uneasy. Because silence forces them to sit with their assumptions. They cannot provoke. They cannot steer. They cannot extract reassurance. This discomfort is not your problem. It is the consequence of their dependence on reaction. The paradox of silent authority: those who explain the least are often assumed to know the most. Not because they do, but because silence suggests internal certainty. In leadership, in relationships, in social dynamics, certainty commands gravity. Historical example: the power of restrained speech. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire without shouting his philosophy. He wrote privately, he acted publicly, and he let time validate his discipline. He did not argue with critics. He did not chase approval. He governed his mind. The moment you should stop talking, the moment someone twists your words, ignores your intent, seeks emotional leverage, it is the moment silence becomes strength, not as punishment, but as boundary. Boundaries are built with silence. Silence says, I am not available for manipulation. I do not perform for validation. My worth is not under debate. And when people sense that, they either respect you or remove themselves. Both outcomes are victories. Part 2. Don't explain yourself to everyone. Power of silence in a world full of judgment. Explaining yourself destroys confidence. Second finds is not loud. Confidence is settled. The moment you feel the urge to over-explain yourself, you're nervous. System is already signaling doubt. You are no longer grounded in your decision. You are reacting to imagined resistance. This is how confidence leaks away. Not in dramatic failures, but in small justifications. In unnecessary clarifications. In explaining your intentions to people who never cared about them. Stoicism teaches something uncomfortable. True confidence does not seek witnesses. The need to be understood is a trap. Most people say they want to be understood. What they actually want is relief from discomfort. They explain themselves to ease anxiety. To escape judgment. To reduce tension. But when you explain yourself to relieve discomfort, you train your mind to avoid pressure. And a mind that avoids pressure never becomes strong. The Stoics believed that discomfort was a training ground. You don't explain yourself to escape it. You endure it to grow beyond it. Why silence makes you psychologically stronger. Silence forces emotional regulation. When you don't rush to respond, your mind stays centered. You observe instead of react. You choose instead of defend. This is self-mastery. And self-mastery is the foundation of power. Machiavelli understood this deeply. He wrote that those who control their reactions control the situation. Silence delays reaction. Delay creates advantage. The strength of being misunderstood. Misunderstood is not a flaw. It is a filter. People who misunderstand you and walk away were never aligned with you. People who stay curious without demanding explanations are worth your time. Silence reveals intent. Those who seek truth listen patiently. Those who seek control demand answers. Judgment feeds on explanation. Judgment survives on engagement. When you explain yourself, you feed the process. You provide material for interpretation, distortion, and criticism. Silence starves judgment. Without reaction, judgment collapses under its own weight. A realistic example. The quiet professional conster, the person at work who never over-explains. They don't justify their methods. They don't defend every choice. They deliver results. And slowly, people stop questioning them. Not because they explained better, but because silence plus consistency creates authority. The difference between clarity and oversharing. Clarity is intentional. Oversharing is compulsive. Clarity speaks once. Oversharing repeats. The Stoics believe that speech should be precise. If your words multiply, your power divides. Silence is a social weapon. Silence is not manipulation when used as self-protection. It is discipline. It prevents emotional exploitation. It prevents unnecessary exposure. Machiavelli warned that revealing too much gives others leverage. Silence removes leverage when you should speak, and why it matters. Silence is not absolute. You speak when truth is required. Boundaries are crossed. Action depends on clarity. Do not speak to soothe insecurity. This distinction is what separates calm authority from defensive noise. The inner shift that happens when you stop explaining something changes internally when you stop explaining yourself. Your thoughts slow down. Your emotional spikes reduce. You stop rehearsing conversations that never needed to happen. Your mind becomes quieter. And in that quiet, confidence grows naturally. Stoic. Practice. The silent response that Stoics practiced restraint deliberately. They allowed misunderstandings to exist temporarily. They trusted time, actions, and consistency. Silence is not absence. It is trust in your own direction. Part 3. Don't explain yourself to everyone. Power of silence in a world full of judgmentals. And inner peace does not come from being understood. It comes from self-alignment. When your actions match your values, the need to explain disappears. The Stoics believed that peace is the byproduct of inner order, not external validation. When you stop explaining yourself, you stop negotiating your identity. You simply live it. Why strong people let others talk? Strong people listen more than they speak. Not because they are passive, but because they are observant. Silence gives you information. People reveal themselves when they are not interrupted. Their intentions, their insecurities, their need for control. Machiavelli knew this. He advised leaders to speak less and observe more, because knowledge is power. Silence as a filter for relationships. You stop explaining yourself. Your circle changes. Some people drift away. Others step closer. Those who require constant reassurance will feel uncomfortable. Those who respect boundaries will remain. This is not loss. This is refinement. Letting judgment exist without reacting. Judgment will always exist. The mistake is believing you must respond to it. Most judgments are not invitations. They are projections. Responding gives them legitimacy. Silence denies them fuel. The Stoics taught that you cannot control what others think, but you can control what you allow to disturb you. Long-term freedom of non-explanation over time. Silence creates psychological freedom. You stop living reactively. You stop anticipating criticism. You stop shaping yourself around external approval. Your nervous system stabilizes. Your mind becomes quieter. Your presence becomes heavier. This is not arrogance. It is self-possession. The final Stoic lesson Marcus Aurelius wrote that you should never explain yourself to those who do not seek truth. Your duty is not to convince. Your duty is to live well. When your life is aligned, explanations become unnecessary. Your calm becomes your argument. Practical rules to remember this. Silence is strength. Explanation is optional. Respect grows in calm. Peace begins where validation enters. Silence wisely, not as avoidance, but as discipline. Final message: you do not owe the world constant access to your mind. You do not owe clarity to those who seek control. You do not owe explanations to every opinion. Stand calmly, act deliberately. Let silence protect your energy, and let time do the explaining for you. Let this idea settle. Return to it the next time you feel the urge to justify yourself.